Are we live?
You're
Are
live
we
on
live? Are we live?
Not yet on this.
Not on. Oh, I started us early. Jack's not live.
That's
We're live.
Woohoo!
Live?
We're live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to. Well, it's supposed to be Jack and Dennis, but Dennis ain't here.
Haha.
It's my brother Mike. Dennis
Surprise.
went out with Madeline, having a nice night out. Good for them.
Welcome to the Hawk Podcast, the United States Constitution Group.
Welcome to the Hawk Podcast and the United States Constitutional Group.
Should I
Let's
say
all-
it too?
Let's all stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Woohoo! Okay, folks, let's dive right into it, I guess, right? So, I wanted to talk about two things today. Well, three things, but one's going to be shorter than the other. Things I wanted to talk about was things that are going on in America. Okay? So you have America 2 years ago pulled out of Afghanistan. Got 13 service personnel killed senselessly.
Yep.
Left billions of dollars. Doesn't even matter how many billions of dollars of equipment they left there for the Taliban. The direct enemy.
Yep.
And not only that, but gave all of that territory back. Gave Afghanistan back. Which,
China probably has now.
well, doesn't even, listen. American lives were lost.
Yeah.
So whatever it was invaluable. And that's why when you go to war and you win, you reap the profits.
That's right. That's the way it's supposed to be.
Because there is no way to pay back those lives that were lost. Those were precious American lives. On top of that, the United States signed up 50,000 interpreters
Yeah, I was going to say, they left behind innocent people.
who were guaranteed a visa and a home in America when they got done.
Yeah.
When they got done fighting side by side and helping American troops and the United States military get through there, they were guaranteed their visas to come live in America. They had done that, and they didn't get it.
Nope.
They are...
They were betrayed.
They don't know how many died. Hundreds have died. And thousands of them are living underground with their family in fear every day because our enemy now rules that country. That would have been like during World War II. All of those millions of troops went over there, got killed in battle, named, everything. Gave up years of their life to fight this war. And when it was over... Go ahead, you can have it, Adolf. We were just joking.
Yeah.
We didn't really mean to come here. So the United States goes over there, after 20 years, walks out and loses everything it had at the sacrifice of these poor troops who did everything right. Our service personnel did everything right.
Yeah.
You had the border is wide open. You have Taiwan doesn't know if they're going to be able to stay a free country. You have Russia invaded Ukraine. We're shipping... Now, Ukraine's getting billions of dollars.
But we don't know where it's going.
Doesn't matter. They're getting it. Yep. Billions of dollars. They're getting billions of dollars. Russia's shipping oil to Europe, who... Now, you think about it. NATO is buying fuel from Russia, who may be their enemy tomorrow.
Yep.
If they go into Poland or any other NATO country that's there. But we're gonna get your war chest going. So the United States leaves Afghanistan. All of those military lives left them behind. Afghanistan interpreters left behind. The 13 left behind right at the end. the billions of dollars in equipment. Ukraine invades. Russia invades Ukraine. The United States gives them billions of dollars. Our allies are buying fuel from them when one day they could be. China's stealing our equipment. China sends a balloon that goes from one end of our country to the other. And this country does not shoot it down until it's over the seas of the East Coast.
Yeah.
That balloon came from Alaska all the way through until somebody in Montana goes, what the hell's that? And then, whoa, now everything. So then we just continue to watch it as this thing goes. And, you think, the balloon spying on us. I don't think it was a spy, that balloon. I think that balloon was a pre-run for, you ever hear, I forget what it's called. I have it in my notes at home, and I should have brought it with me today because I knew I was going to talk about this. But if you blow a nuclear bomb above a country,
it
wipes out the electric forever.
Yeah.
So technically, I think that was a dry run for China. So the United States lets this go through and just lollygagging around, letting this balloon go by. They didn't want to danger anybody. Meanwhile, Montana, what do they have? Like 600 people there? I mean, it's not called big. Yeah. It's not called big sky country for no reason.
Yeah, that's all. You weren't going to hit anyone.
Yeah,
maybe a deer.
And then it goes down to Wyoming, where Wyoming literally only has 2 representatives in the United States Congress, because that's how little populated that is. So we have the withdrawal from Afghanistan. We have China running balloons over us. China did COVID. Now they're saying this other pneumonia thing.
Yep.
The border's wide open. The government has no idea how many terrorists are coming through here. They think there's 300 of them, but they don't know where they are.
So that means more.
13 are the ones that has the amount of people that did September 11th. Fentanyl's coming in and killing enough Americans that if they were inside a plane crash, whatever it is, 300 people dying a day from fentanyl. No big deal.
I hear that's the number one death in America right now, or close to it.
Man, I don't know what the exact numbers are, but it's one's too many. And then they have, the debt's going on. Yeah, I'm going to get to that. Oh. The debt's going through the roof. They're handing out money. They're forcing you to buy electric cars, windmills, getting rid of fuel. You can't drill. So I can go on all day.
Yeah.
All right? So this is America. Right? But if you were to go out there and talk to Americans, they'd tell you, that's bullshit. Every single thing you said is exactly what I do not want.
Yeah.
So what's going on in America? So is America now, how is this working? We have these world events going on. The country America is doing things that the American people don't agree with. And they don't care. They're doing it anyway. So what is the next step? The Republican Party is in a really big scramble because they're getting out donated by the Democrats like crazy, and people are going, "How can anybody donate to the Democratic Party?
How would they win it
and not go to the Republicans?" Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. This is why Trump is leading by so much. I'll tell you right now why Trump is leading by so much and the Republicans can't get out of their own way. The Democrat Party is getting more donations than the Republicans because their candidates say that they're going to do something and then they do it. The Republicans Party hasn't done anything.
They yell, scream, carry on, and do nothing.
They've been going and doing hearings and allegations and on TV every day about what they found. It sounds exactly what they did to Trump. But that's not what they said they were going to do. They said that they were going to go and do impeachment inquiries on Biden. And after 3 years, they're almost there.
Yeah.
But they also said that they were going to cut funding to the IRS. They were going to cut funding to the border until they started doing their job. They were going to cut funding from the DOJ so they could stop doing these trials against Trump. They said they were going to do all of this, and they have done nothing. They have done nothing. They have said they were going to pass bills the right way. They haven't done that.
Oh, that's right.
They
that's
said
one
that
of
they
the new,
were gonna make the Democrats play by the rules. So playing by the rules. So not that I believe with this guy. This guy, I don't even know his name is. He's that jerk from New York that lied his way into Congress, whose only sin, as far as politician goes, was told everybody that he lied instead of denying that he lied. And so they want to get this guy thrown out of Congress because, and they're saying, well, he's not, he wasn't guilty in trial and this and that. But, the same thing's going across the other aisle. You have the squad doing outrageous stuff, costing this country trillions of dollars in green energy and different things like that. Killing, just killing the Jewish community with words and causing these, inciting these borderline riots for pro-Palestinian things.
And unfortunately, most of them are brainwashed students.
And the reason why Trump is ahead is because he's not a Republican.
No, he's not.
He's not a politician. He's Trump.
Right.
And he said, you know what? I'm going to give you a tax break. I'm going to close that border. I'm going to put the feet to the flame in China and make sure to put their feet to the heat, to the fire, and make them play nice with us. I'm changing policies with Mexico and Canada. And when he was done, you know what he did? That.
Yeah.
So, he's not. So why is he running winning by 50%, and now winning over Biden, which I can't believe anybody would want to vote for that guy. That's my personal opinion. I don't care if you're a Democrat or not.
Yeah.
The man is out there. I mean, he's not. He's an empty vessel.
He shouldn't.
He should be anything. He shouldn't have been a
problems.
senator since. That man should have been elected once, maybe twice. I'll go way out there and say 3 times. That would have been 18 years, and that's almost 20 years.
Yeah.
And he went in there. Let me see what Margaret has. Dennis says, please, everyone in America, like and share.
That's me.
Oh, that's you. Sorry, Dennis. Enjoy your night. Margaret, the Democrat always tell us what they are going to do. And I can't see this. The problem is the computer's in between. Gonna do, and they do it. The Republicans say what they're gonna do, and they never follow through. They seem to have a big problem with coming together, supporting each other, and working towards a goal to complete. They spend more time debating each other instead of accomplishing something. Yeah. Well, here's the problem, too. The Republican Party is stuck in a rut of saying, Dennis says it all the time. You wait until the next election. Woo! We're going to take everything over then.
Yeah,
but meanwhile, they're
losing. They're
losing, and they can't make any money, and they're not getting any campaigns.
I also feel that you're right too, because
not these two.
Nuts
again. Let's watch if anything actually thinking happens this time. Well, that's one of our fans. I mean, if you don't like the show, then leave. So there's live right there. The guy calls us two numbnuts.
Biden fan?
Yeah. Well. Anyway, you don't like the show, by all means, hit the bricks. And if things come too close to you and you feel uncomfortable with it, debate us back instead of calling us names.
Well, that's what I was going to say. If he wants to have a legitimate debate, that's one thing.
Yeah.
He might be.
I mean, every week Dennis puts his phone number out there so he could give him a call if he wanted to call us and debate it. But call us names.
What do you want me to say to him?
No,
nothing.
I mean, I'm not going to name call like he does. So
there's nothing interesting he said.
Anyway, to get back to it, that's why we got a guy that is winning over allegedly his own party. He's not a politician. He's not a Republican. He's not a Democrat. He's just an American that says, make America great. Yeah. The Republicans say they're going to do stuff. They don't do it. The Democrats say they're going to do it, and they do it full tilt. Whether you agree with what it is or not, it's done. They do it. I think their policies are killing America, which should love this guy. You're welcome for that comment. But, and I think that's the problem. We have a lot of things that are going on in this world that the American people are not satisfied with and said, that's not where I stand. I don't know why my country's doing it. Well, that's what this show does every week. This show tells you to go out and vote for the person, not the party. Get together with your neighbors. Start getting involved in smaller, minor parties. I think no party should be there. It should be always the person. But you know what? How you start that is you get your local politicians, like what we're going to try and do. If we can get elected to state, then I would like to make it that, you know what? No politician, regular federal or state, is allowed to collect any donations from outside of their district that they're running for. That way, on the federal level, you don't get guys like George Soros dictating what your politicians and district attorneys are going to do. And on the state level, you don't get some guy like we live in Myrtle Beach, Columbia, South Carolina's 3 hours away. If you got some millionaire over there, why is he influencing what my politician's going to say? Yeah. Again, it's the politicians are for the people. So, anyway, folks, a lot of us have issues with what's going on in the world and the United States, what they are doing. Most people are saying that's not what I agree with. Why is my government doing that? Well, it's time to take over your government again through the ballot.
Yep.
Go ahead, Mike.
Oh, you want me to start? Oh, the guy should love my stuff.
Yeah, well.
I've been going through Isaiah, the book of Isaiah, and I've been finding some verses in there that are pertaining to things that are going on now. And some of the stuff is what you said. Isaiah 2:4, and he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. Because of the weak leaders that we have in this nation, and this goes back years, this verse shows us the blasphemy of America and the United Nations. This verse is shown on a Isaiah wall outside the UN building. I don't know if you ever seen that. They have this verse on the wall outside in the United Nations.
No, I never saw it. I stayed away from the United Nations because that's where all the brass was hanging around.
Yeah. But it's funny because it takes out God's judgment and rebuke of the nations and their people. They start the verse with they, giving credit to the UN for peace on earth. God has not only been run out of our public schools, it has been run out of the country, the world, and his own book. Then Proverbs 28:4. They that forsake the law praise the wicked, but such as keep the law contend with them. Supreme Court and the ACIU. Do you know what that is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Should I mention it just in case people don't know?
Yeah.
It's the American Civil Liberties Union. Took the law out of the schools, and now look at the state of our schools and nation. And this is why our schools and nation is in the state they're in. But there is a way of fixing it.
Well, I tell you the truth, Mike, that goes again. Like, I wonder how many Americans really don't want prayer out of school. I don't know. I don't have that kind of, we don't have that kind of resource to see what kind of polls there are.
We can't take a poll.
But again, when we start talking about these issues that are going on, the reason why people listen to the show is because, sometimes we say something that they're thinking and they're like, exactly right. And that's going on very broad. I mean, again, nobody wanted to leave Afghanistan the way they did.
No.
That war shouldn't have not gone on for 20 years the way it did. Nobody wants the border open the way it is. Even Eric Adams and the mayor in Chicago, and they're all like, "Whoa, we got to put a brake. Just hit the brakes on this a little.
Slow it down a little bit."
So nobody really wants what's going on here, but it's still going on. Why?
Well, I'll tell you. Proverbs 28:2. For the transgression of a land, many are the princes thereof. Then the second part of that verse is how to fix it. But by a man of understanding and knowledge, the state of thereof shall be prolonged. This verse tells you what happened to America. Once bureaucrats make up 7% of any population, their job then becomes a job to stay in office and make the population support them. This is what's happening. This is what happened in Nazi Germany, Communist Cuba, Communist Russia, Communist Vietnam, Socialist Mexico, and Communist China. The sins of a nation are equal to the amount of governmental agents and governmental regulations. Big government is a byproduct of much sin. But one wise and lawful citizen with God's power can influence an entire nation. The Supreme Court of the United States, this is our government, in the 1950s, wisely stated in an American Communications Association versus Dodds case 339 U.S. 382-442. It is not the function of our government to keep the citizens from falling into error. It is the function of the citizen to keep the government from falling into error. That's us, guys. We have to start working to get our government to work for us. We can do it with prayer, work, and the blessing of God. That's just one book that I got those verses from.
Yeah, well, listen, this country was founded on Judeo-Christian beliefs, republic-type government from ancient readings of Greece, and that's where it comes from. So if you don't understand your Judeo-Christian beliefs, then it's hard to understand this type of government. If you don't understand your history and how a republic government was invented, then you don't understand your government. And then that's when you say, silly things on the internet.
Yeah. Isn't that something, though, in the 1950s, what a difference from then and now. What the Supreme Court said there is exactly the way the Constitution was written. And now, you would never know it's the same thing.
Yeah, well, again, we got to get our country back to the way it was. Way further back than when I was a kid. It was great when I was a kid, but, I'm sure before then it was even better when you had your freedoms. They just keep taking your freedoms slowly, more and more and more.
And they're smart about it, Jack. I mean, like you said, we have a generation coming out of schools that don't think there's anything wrong because they don't know they're losing their rights.
Yeah. So, anyway, I have one more thing to say today before we close up shop. And the thing that I was thinking of was this administration, our government, again, is saying nothing about the American hostages that Hamas had taken.
And the deaths.
Right. So we had Americans killed over there on that day. And now we have Americans that are hostages. And they say nothing about it. And so everybody, and I started watching the news, and it started hitting some of the news, some of the news that asks questions anyway. There's not a lot of it anymore, but especially the brainwashers that are out there like MSNBC.
Well, that's how they're getting away. This government's getting away with help from the press.
But I think I know why. Because this administration and the government of today is the worst enemy that Israel has had in my lifetime, I believe. As far as what I can remember. And I do believe that they're not saying anything about getting the Americans out of there because they don't want them out. I know that's sick to say, because I think if Israel goes back to war and any of those American hostages are killed, the United States government's going to say, see, Israel, you wouldn't listen to us and stay with the peace talks, and now you got Americans killed. Yep. Meanwhile, it was your disinterest of these American hostages and what was going on October 7th and what's going on with Iran attacking military bases. You know, they're saying no Americans have been hurt or killed in them, but I don't know, you know, they're hard to believe anymore. So, anyway, that's my theory on the American hostages. We should say prayers to them. Jack, what are you doing?
I'm trying to thank you for everybody for what.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But you know, all those hostages need to have prayers, and you know, this government needs to set these terrorists in place. You know, I'm very, very afraid, you know, that September 11th is coming back, and I tell you, with that border open and the amount of terrorists that they got coming into this country that they don't even know about, they don't even know the number. I'm really worried.
It's probably going to be more.
Well,
that's what
they're always
know.
wrong. The only time they're not wrong is on how much money they're going to steal from you out of your taxes.
I hope it doesn't happen, but I think, I don't know, it just seems hard to believe with all of these. I mean, there are people that hate this country. And, you know, it's already been, I think they're at work at trying to figure out a way to start the terrorist attack against this country.
Well, they don't start to work on that. They're methodically planned.
Yeah.
They don't just figure it out. It's not like a bunch of guys. They plan it. They practice it. They know what they're doing. They're backed by Iran, which is
now
a country.
Billions.
Yeah, it's a country. You know, again, our country's giving them billions of dollars. The leader of Hamas is living in 5-star hotels in Egypt. No, not Egypt. I forget what the other country they're at. The one that was doing all the negotiating. You know, Biden wasn't leading the release of any of these hostages.
This guy, he's right in the mix of it.
Yeah, he's right in the mix of it. All right, mixing the pudding that he wants tonight. I'm making pudding, honey. You want some?
In between, how much of hours of his nap time is he getting putting towards the hostage?
Yeah. So anyway, we're gonna have. Oh, that's right. Listen, here we go.
The book.
Politicians gaslighting Americans. We got one guy on here who's believing everything these politicians are saying. Just look on the bottom there, you'll see him and his comments.
Yeah, Mr. William.
Yep.
You should buy this book.
Yeah, well.
You can learn something.
Anyway, here's the book, $17. Go to Dorrance Bookstore.com, right, Jack?
Yeah.
Dorrance, Dorrance, bookstore.com. You can go there, just type in politicians gaslighting Americans, buy the book. It's nice, easy reading. We got one of my favorite chapters is the climate change chapters because it shows. Well, there's a lot of things in here that I like. I like the fact that the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence are in here. I think that the voting fiasco, our economy is in chapter 2. The future, what are people thinking? Media outlets. White supremacy is one of the chapters. Climate change, number 7. Chapter 7 is climate change, and it shows an entire bill that was written by AOC from New York about the Green New Deal. And the reason we put that in there is so you could see how they write these bills. This is like a subsection of a bill. But this is what's going on. This is how you're getting, they're paying for, and this is what they get paid for. This climate change bill, you'll be cringing while you're doing it. There's Chapter 8 is crime in America. Chapter 9, open borders and immigration. Chapter 10, racism in America. Chapter 11, Our Veterans. I love that chapter. And there's a poem in there from one of our great veterans. He didn't want to be named. He just wanted to say that, just get that out to as many people as you can get out. And chapter 12 is Stand United, which is kind of like our platform for this political party we're trying to get going. And also in the introduction is the definition of politicians gaslighting Americans. So this guy should definitely read that because he's
back with him.
That's right. So when you get this book, don't pass up the introduction. Read the definition of gaslighting. What gaslighting is, because when you read that definition, you'll be like,
Whoa.
Holy mackerel. That is exactly what's going on. Great book. Great hard work done on it.
Yeah, I'm very proud of my brother and Dennis. Took a lot of work for them to write this book. And I can't wait to get my copy. And I want them both to sign it. I think the next book they come out with, they should have their pictures in there.
Yeah, well, we don't want to break any cameras. Okay, Mike, do a prayer.
Okay. Isaiah 41, verses 11 and 12. Behold, all they that were innocent against thee shall be ashamed and confounded. They shall be as nothing. And they that strive with thee shall perish. Thou shalt seek them, and shalt not find them. Let's pray. Father, you have promised the righteous your protection from their enemies. They may still come against us, but they will be powerless, ashamed, and confused by their inability to harm us. Your power against them is so fearsome that when we search for our enemies, we will not be able to find them. Such protection is beyond our understanding, but not to be taken lightly. You know exactly what we need when we call on you for help. And we trust your decisions, especially when we are in fear for our life. Thank you, Father. We pray this in Jesus' precious name. Amen.
Amen. All right, folks. I hope you all have a good weekend. Madeline, thank you for the slippers.
Yes,
Madeline
very
bought us
nice.
slippers for the coming up
you.
into the new room. They're very comfy, cozy. And we're trying to leave the house the way we found it, except for the alligator. We got that out.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Have a good night.
Good night.
And God bless.
What did he make me say about that?
Hold on, I'm not done.
Oh,
I can't read this.
I can't. Let me see if I got my glasses.